Alrighty. Renew. Oh no, wrong subject. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hey, Giannis. We got timing issues on the channel as YouTube did not switch times. Clear that we start in 2 minutes. Okay. Everyone, let me know whether you saw the notification or not. Okay, sounds good to me. What else can I say about any of that? I don't know. If you want me to do something, let me know, and I shall. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere here on Earth. You know, it's what is it? It's 8:31 a.m. now on the East Coast of the U.S. of A. And it's like 10:31 now. It's 10:32, of course. At 10:32 p.m. in Tokyo. So there's two trading centers, and then you go in between them. There's trading everywhere all around the planet. So it's good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening. Apartments Javana? Cool. Hey, how you doing? Hi to you too. So anything's possible at this point in time. But it's Monday. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. And what do we got? Oh, there goes the mouse. It's in the trash can, actually. It fell into the trash can. All right, let's get that mouse back up there. And let's go take a look at what we got going on in here and what's on the screen. Let me get rid of that ad. There we go. So that's where we are. Let's go to... There's the dollar index on J4X, as we can see. We can see. I can see. You can see. We can all see. And so there it is right there. See, the dollar is, this is the weekly, so it's trying to move down. Last we looked, let's put it up over here on Chicago Quant. I think the weekly is challenging things there too. They're doing it together. They like to hang out together. There it is. And it's no, actually it's kind of firm still, isn't it? And there it is today. Oh no, okay, it's the second week in a weekly sell. Okay, right there. Yeah, it's second week in a weekly sell. Went into the weekly sell last week. And that's what we keep on looking forward to. I know that people like to ramble in the United States about a strong dollar, but we don't want a Superman dollar. We don't want a dollar that just keeps on going through the roof. We want a dollar that's fair valued like the rest of them, you know? Just because the imbalance is imbalance. Hey, Robin, did that all make sense the way I sent it over? I sent over everyone that I messed up on. I had confused May corn with what was it? May corn was something like July crude or something like that. And May crude was July crude. Everything was July crude. July crude for everybody. Everybody fill up. July crude for everybody. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so that's where we are this morning. You can see the dollar is trying to, well, it's kind of popping up a little bit on a daily right there. There is a, what is that? That's not the 26th. No, that's last night. So let's fix that. And let's slide this in. See if we can find that. Let's see what we can do with it right there. What is that? That's CME. So we'll go like that. See if it straightens out there. And that's the 24th. And then what we go is we go like this. And let's see if we can straighten that out. And we got to change that color too. Let's see, CME. Let's try this. CME. Let's try global. There we go. Okay. Does that do it? That's still 24th. And let's change this color here too to pinkish because it's in a weekly sell last week. There we are. And so there's the dollar. We got to get this dollar thing ticking live again. It's throwing on the 26th and the 27th. What is that all about? I don't know. Sometimes it does these things. Let's see. Let's go to this 24/7. There you go. Maybe did that do it? That didn't do it. What in blazes? Why won't you get back up there? Let's try this. I think it likes to be on default. Now it's not adding. It won't. Oh, there it is. Okay, there you go. That's better. There we are. So there's the 27th. That's the 24th. That's last Friday. You can see it's trying to lift up. You can go over to J4X, we'll take a look at that. There's the weekly doing the same thing, trying to go down, down, down. And you can see our fast algo is matching up with the J4X. It broke down, what was that, 2.5 weeks ago. Broke underneath the zero line. And then when this gets through here too, when the slow breaks through the manifold and this thing's broken down, the pressure's on the downside. That's what that's all about there. And then let's go to the daily. The daily. Right there. You can see showing some strength here. The green line trying to lift up. And same game right here. Our green line is lifting up and getting through the zero line today. Showing some pressure on the upside there. Fixed away. Good. So, that is the dollar this morning. Sounds like they've resolved some of the banking issues across the planet. And what it really comes down to, we'll say it in very plain ideas. What happened was banks like to borrow short-term and invest long-term, okay? But Mr. Powell had made a good 30-40% of the banking community believed that interest rates were going to stay down around the 0 to 1.5% area forever. And then what happened was, when he started to fight inflation, he forgot. Mr. Powell forgot what he was doing. He got lost. He got confused. I don't know. He's like Biden, I guess. And it's confusing me why he would get lost. But he got lost, and he raised the rates, and short-term rates moved up to the 4.5-5% area. And we've talked about this here on the webinar. But the back months are trading in the 2.5 and the 3.5% area. It came down from the 4s. So what happened was the back months stopped lifting, and they were invested in it. They got hurt. So in other words, when a bond is yielding 2%, you own it, and it goes to 4%, you have to wait for maturity to get your money out of it. Whereas if it's the other way around, and you bought bonds at 4% and they go down to 2%, you can sell those bonds and not worry about maturity. And that's what the problem was. And so interest rates went up in the back months. Interest rates went up bigger in the front months. And that's what hurt the banks. And they had to, some banks obviously are smart enough not to do those stupid things. But there are some banks that are just not really in tune to the reality of they trust. In other words, a third of them trust Mr. Powell. If Mr. Powell says it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful day. Doesn't matter if it's raining and there's no sunshine. It's a beautiful day to him. And a third of them will believe that. And Rob and I had a conversation about that today. About a third likes to just go walkabout. For you south of the equator, in other words, Australia or the South Pacific or Kiwi, in New Zealand, they all know what walkabout is, where someone starts to go and they just keep on going, and they'll say, I'll be back soon. Soon could be next week, could be this afternoon, or could be next year. And that's what they did. They went walkabout. They started believing in Mr. Powell, and Mr. Powell's a very tough person to want to believe in because he has some really odd ideas. So anyhow, that's what happened, and it put the pressure on it, and then you could see it in Switzerland, you could see it around the world, and then you saw it in the United States, and now it's all getting cleaned up because those bankers invested to try to make money. They paid attention to Mr. Powell, and they borrowed short-term and lent long-term, or invested long-term, let's say that. And so what happened was that they can't get that cash until it expires. And so that's what screws it up. So in other words, like the SVB Bank out in California, it's got about $300 billion still laying around. Problem is they spent the spare money and the profits already, so there's no extra cash laying around. And so they've got to wait X amount of years for them to expire because the back months are not making as much as the front months. And because of that, they're trapped, and they didn't have the do-re-mi to pay off depositors. It will work out in the end. It's not like 2008. And the only reason there's a comparison to 2008 is there's some remnants still left over from the foolish things that happened in 2008 that basically crashed the global marketplace. And so, the world went bankrupt to a great extent. The whole world went bankrupt, and in the industrial government side of things. In other words, in the government side of things, they went bankrupt. And what they did is we lost Merrill Lynch, and I say this all the time. We lost Lloyd's of London, and I know they exist still, but they're only in name. We lost Deutsche Bank, and we lost Credit Suisse, but they still functioned under the supervision of the governments themselves, or were married to, like Merrill Lynch now is married to Bank of America. Actually, it's not married; it's a subsidiary. They're not equals. They paid $2 a share for Merrill Lynch when it was trading at 190, that type of thing. And same thing with Bear Stearns being owned now by JPM, and I can go on and on. And Citibank was so bad, it was like Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse, that Citibank is owned by the Federal Reserve basically, because no one would even dare to invest in it, just like no one will basically invest in Deutsche Bank. It's owned by the federal government of Germany, and so forth and so on. So I hate to repeat myself, and I don't, because I don't mind rambling, but I know that you get tired of hearing these things. So anyway, let's just put it this way: the banking system is coming back to normal of the last couple weeks. So we're moving away from the SVB problem and moving back into the norm, and that's probably why we're seeing the dollar now back off. And you can see it in the stock indices. They're rallying. And matter of fact, we're even flirting with a weekly buy. Where's it at? Yeah, Robin, notice the S&P 500. Here's the daily. I'm just going to throw it up on the screen. What is that? That's the dollar index. Right there is the S&P 500. It is flirting with a daily buy, of course, and at the same time, a weekly buy. It's joining, we can say right here, it's joining the, we'll look at it later on unless someone wants to see it, but it's joining the Tech 100. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is probably doing the same thing today. It's probably flirting with the weekly buy. Let's take a look and see. Because we already know Tech 100 is in there. So we go like there, we go like there. And here she's going to open up. And the answer to that question is it's very close. The June contract, the fast is through today. The slow is above the manifold. And if we see this histogram even get remotely close to the plus by the end of the week, we know that they're turning it up. And the fall from the 34,500 area down to the 31,500 area is over with. That 3,000 point drop from the banking problem. And we'll, kind of move back into the action again on the upside. Okay, so from there, let's go back to the currencies. And unless you want to see something, anybody out there wants to see something, just put it up on the chat line and we will look at it instantly. No questions asked. And let's go over to, not corn. We're sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Corn, we messed you up there. Let's go back over to the euro. Let's see what the second largest economy is doing this morning. Oh, what did I see? I saw a great one. I think I saved it. Let me double check, too. When we get into the interest rates and we talk about that, and I'm always telling you who owns the most of these bonds versus the most of those bonds and blah, 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 blah. Someone put up a nice chart last night. One of the brokerages or the central banks. Let me go see if I can find it. And it was like, oh, cool. It shows it shows this action here, what's going on. And so you can see right here. What is that? That's the what is that? That's the euro at the moment. The euro is sliding into a sell, which is a little surprising since the dollar is also, it's in a buy on a short term. But look at the weekly. You can see it closed in a weekly buy, and you can see the dollar index found a way to close or trade into the weekly sell. So we are seeing those events going on there. Let's see. Let me just double check something here, and I'm going to see if I can find that that really good chart. Who owns what and when? It was really cool. And I know I could have sworn I sent it out or did something, or I saved it. I'm looking now for it. Oh, it was really good. I don't see it. I thought I shared it. Oh, I gotta find that. How did I not? I was so stunned what happened there? Let's see if we can find that. Oh, we gotta find that. We definitely gotta find that. Because it was really laid out. I was really surprised. Great Britain has over $600 billion worth of U.S. bonds. China has 800 and some odd billion, and then the Japanese, as I've been saying, is over $1 trillion. So, they're the ones who own all that. In other words, as much as they own that showed the rest of the world how much they own, which was really interesting. I got to find that chart again. And then the U.S. is we own 44 or 46% of it ourselves. So it's kind of we're the number one debtor in the world. In other words, we own American debt. And when people say, "Oh, what happens if they sell them?" Well, they'll print. There's plenty of trees out there. They'll print more money. That's all. That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. Let me see if I can find this. Let's see. German transport crippled by inflation sparked mega strike. Oh, okay. Let's see. Futures now. Bank crisis record. Let's see. It was an interesting story. I'm going to find that because I think everybody. And I thought I might have. I think I saved it as a picture. Let me see if I saved it as a picture. No, I don't see it there. Let me just double check over here. Check another computer. I might have saved it as a picture. And I didn't share it, which is odd. I must have been thinking 5 things at once this morning. Nope, I don't see it there either. Okay. So I really messed up there. Maybe someone called me. That's what it was, and I got lost. All right. So anyway, there is the what do you call it? The euro, the second largest economy in the world, and it's kind of moseying along. The daily is kind of flat, and down from Friday. But the weekly has turned up, just like the dollar index, as you can see on J4X. Let's go back to J4X again. Right there. You can see it's heading down. See, it's the opposite direction. Dismiss. There we are. So that is what's going on in that situation right there. Is, and I'm wondering what cable's doing. Let's see what cable's doing here. There's cable. And cable's in a weekly buy for 3 weeks now. And the fast has been there in 4. And when we go over to J4X, let's put the cable up in there. Cable, right there. You can see that. It's been in a buy for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks now. It's doing the same thing. It's lifting up. The daily's been sloppy, and it looks like it's trying to get into the sell today. You can see it's been in a buy from here. And then we tried to break down and it didn't do well at breaking down. And the next day it sold off, but it still stayed in the buy. And now it's flirting with the daily sell as we speak. But I was really surprised. I thought they had 400 and some odd billion in U.S. bonds, and they have 600 and some odd billion. So it's interesting to watch this whole, the way the world invests. And it's a banking crisis and start recession. It must have been an interest rate story I was reading. How could I have let that get away? Oh my God, I'm so sad. My brain must have been on twist this morning. I saved make corn as crude. So yeah, obviously my brain was on twist this morning. It was not. It was coming off of the weekend. All right, Morgan Stanley, central banks worry about financial stability than inflation. Let's see what if that had the article. Boy, what a great. Oh, there it is. I got it. Which countries hold the most U.S. debt? There it is. I'm gonna. It was foreign. Oh yeah, and I want to save this picture. Save image as. Yes, indeed. Save done. And then we're gonna bring it up on the screen. Check this out. See if we can make that bigger. Can we make that bigger? Yeah, look at that. Singapore, almost 200 billion. Isn't that something? Japan, 1.1. China, 8.67 billion. Where was Britain? There it is. Britain, UK, 655 billion. Look at Belgium, 354 billion. You know what that is? Belgium. We found out what that was before. That's the Chinese. They have brokerage house in Belgium, and they've been buying U.S. government bonds. So when they tell you that they're selling them, they're not selling them. France is 189 billion. Ireland, 255 billion. Luxembourg, there's another one. Sure, Luxembourg and Belgium Look at the size of their positions. They're enormous. They are definitely. They're bigger than Switzerland. Matter of fact, oh, let's see. What's Germany? Germany is. I'm confused with that. Oh, 101. So you're telling me that Belgium, is holding that much? No, it's foreigners invested in Belgium. Same thing with Luxembourg. You know that it's more. Where is it? Like Ireland, 255 billion. So, Mexico, 59 billion. The Bermuda Triangle, 82 billion. Canada, 215 billion. Oh, look at the Cayman Islands, 284 billion. You know that they're foreign investors. Other countries, 400. They don't even know how to put them on there. And so, out of all that, the United States has 44% of the U.S. bonds. So we're the biggest investor, because these guys are, small fries compared to that. So I think that's cool. Belgium and Denmark too. Ireland, I know. What do you mean by safe? I'm not sure. Oh, safe? Where did we see safe? I didn't see safe. Oh, I think they're just using the brokerage houses there. That's what it is. For trading, yeah, exactly. No, I'm not safe like safe, like more like they're brokerage houses. And so I know that China. Remember I was Janos will probably remember this. Remember I was like 6 months ahead of Belgium. Remember when Belgium got up to like 300 billion in bonds, and everybody was like, "Wait a minute, their GDP is like nothing. How could they afford to do that?" And then it was discovered about a year later. I kept on saying it's probably the Chinese. It was. They discovered it was the Chinese. Let's see, MT4 binary or J4X? What do you mean? Binary? What did I miss here? I missed the part of the conversation. Is good, but binary. Oh, binary options. Oh yeah, legit. Yeah. They're all legit. They're backed by their governments and so forth, but basically they're just holding the stuff for people. Or corporations that are holding it for countries. We found that out about 4 or 5 years ago. Matter of fact, we have webinars labeled that, where we were speculating that when they kept on seeing major buying of U.S. bonds in Belgium and China at the same time selling their American holdings, I kept on saying, they're probably buying through Belgium, because it didn't make any sense at the time. I see what he's saying. Check the binary platform out first and with the demo account, and then see how it works. I see. You guys are trying to emulate. Excellent. Yeah, J4X. The new platform is much more user friendly. Right here. This is really cool. J4X. All right. So, yeah, I think that I've saved this so we can pull it up whenever the conversation comes around. The one that really surprised me out of it all, right there. The UK, they're up at 650. I knew that one time, before Japan and China, years ago, were always the second largest bondholder of U.S. debt in the world. And so when you really think about the size of this economy versus Japan and China, they're pretty much at parity with each other. They're all about the same size economies. And so then the European Union is obviously the second biggest economy in the world. And I'll tell you, if you want to look at it deeper, I would say the Commonwealth is, bigger than China. And, there's more people. The yearly income is larger, so forth. I'm not sure what this thing is about China that they're so excited about. It always confuses me. Yeah. Anyway, that's it right there. Even the Saudis have 120 billion. Look at that. Oh, see if I can make it bigger. Can't make it bigger. Right there. The Saudis have a good chunk. So, what else can we say about any of this? I guess that's about it. So I thought that was cool. Look at Brazil, 217 billion. Well, I think they use the dollar as a currency, really. So I mean, the real is almost impossible to get a quote on. We can't even get a real quote on J4X. That's how bad it is. J4X will basically show you almost any currency in the world, and they can't even get a quote on the real. It's too wild. So, all right. So that's that. I thought it would be important to show. All right. So from there, what do? We go over to. We saw cable. You can see it's trying to get into the daily sell there as we speak, right there. But that weekly buy is holding up pretty well. Now from there we slide over to the Swiss, and we're expecting much better things out of the Swiss now for sure. It closed in the weekly sell last week. We can put the line in there now. And at the same time, we're thinking that they'll go down into like the 88s or 89s or something like that now that the banking problem is gone. Come on. I want to change your color. There we go. There we are. So we went into the sell there. You can see the fast-moving algorithm's been in that sell for a while. Matter of fact, that's an interesting bounce it's getting out of it now. And then let's take a look at the Swiss up on J4X. Swissy right there. And you can see that weekly, same situation. 4 weeks pressing down. That's so funny. Deceptionist. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't believe in Commonwealth as something actual since I read up on the invasion of Grenada. Really? Well, what happened was the Cubans were taking over Grenada. That's what was going on. Yeah, I think it's a British island, right? And so what they were doing is the Cuban army was there, and they were building this giant. They were building 3 giant runways. They were building a giant runway for Soviet airplanes in Grenada. They were doing it in Nicaragua, and they were doing it in Cuba. And so Ronald Reagan in 1980 or 1982 or something like that, 83, basically said, "No, we can't have that." Let's see. That would not tell you how much you can make and where they would just show the functions. Dukascopy Wealth Care Receptionist. Okay. And then he says, Yana says, Dookie has a couple of scam pages being active now. There was an announcement sent out about 2 of them where scammers are working. Okay. And this is the page you want to stick to. Okay. Excellent. But I get profit $70 investment. Cool. Anyhow, let's see. Or look up the email of the registration and see the contact of your account manager. Yeah, definitely. You have with the world being so connected with the WWW, the World Wide Web. So automatically, there's people out there trying to take advantage of it. And as traders, we have to realize always that someone's always going to try to take our do-re-mi. Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm impressed with the S&Ps today. We talked about it last week a little bit. I was thinking they might try to turn. Here it is right there. So it's trying to get into a daily buy today. You can see that right there. At the same time, you can see right here, it's climbing through the weekly. And that's why I was correlating the conversation with the banking situation. It seems like the banking situation's come to the end. It's over with as far as I can tell. In other words, they're finding ways to look. In the end result, this is not 2008. There are some players in it that are still damaged from 2008. That's why it gets a little confusing. But even SVB has $300 billion in assets. The problem is that it has to mature for them to get the cash out of it. That's what the problem is. And they're going to mature. Let's see. Ali says, I don't believe anymore because she said invest $100 and get $200, so I left her group. Yeah, I think that's a trick. Yeah, don't do that. Smart move, Ollie. Stay away from charlatans like that. Listen to good people like me. Me! As I sip my coffee. No, it's tea, I'm sorry. Sipping my tea. And I'm patting my... Ow! My elbow hurts. I'm patting myself on the back too hard. All right, traders. Where do we head from there? There you go, Giannis. What do you think? You want to check out something? Here's my favorite. Got the intraday thing going on. Here's the intraday right there. Trying to lift up again. Let's see. How high are we? Let's put that up on J4X too. Let's put the S&P 500 up on that. And we'll go back to the next currency, which will be the yen. All right. There. Someone just texted me something. Let's see what that is. Uh-huh. Yep. And so that is exactly the whole gig right there. You can see that the stock market is trying to lift up. And when we look at it a little bit more long term, in the sense of intraday trading, not real long term, but you know, here we'll put it up on here on the screen right there. You can see here, last night in the Asian hours they were lifting it. When Europe opened up this morning, you can see. Oh no, that's the 24th. Okay, no, I'm wrong. They've been lifting it since Friday. So where's that? There's Friday. Oh no. I was right. So this is the European hours right here, and so they started to sell it down. As what time is that? 2:24. So that what that is that's the opening in Switzerland and Frankfurt and London and Milan and Amsterdam and all Spain everywhere. They all open up around there. So they opened it up. They sold down, and then you can see they started to lift right back up again. And that's pretty much the action we're really seeing right now. Is we're seeing that strength. Yeah, definitely a scam. Oh yeah, definitely a scam. It sounds like a scam to me. Indeed. Where was it? I had a picture. Someone was asking me about. They were asking me a physics question. Let's see if I can find the picture I want to put up, and then I'll show it to you guys too, because I want to send it to them. About the idea that if you have an electric car, you should be forced to charge it with solar collectors, and not with fuel burning generators, that type of thing. Let's see if I can find that. It's one of my favorites now. Let's see. Let's see, where is it at? It's in around here somewhere. It's one of my favorites. I think that's it right there. No, that's not it. Anyway, I'll find that and I'll send it out to you too. At the same time, I think you'll get a hoot out of it. I found it to be extremely funny. The idea that if you want to have an electric vehicle or anything like that, you should have to charge it with only things that are what they call renewable. So in other words, solar collectors and things like that. All right. From there, let's go over to the yen. See what the yen is up to this morning. And I think, Giannis, I gave you enough of the S&Ps. So did they withdraw money and take? Oh, they're back to that again. Restaurant. I like that, Giannis. That's a good one. And did they take it? At least did they buy you a meal? Oh man. Yep. Giannis is right. All right. So from there, let's see. Where do we go from here? We go to the yen. Let's go check out the yen. There it is, right there. Go to the yen. That's the Swiss. And there's the yen. It's been finding a way to go down. It's tried to get up on Friday. It failed at it again somewhere along the line here. And then today it's trying to get up, but it closed in a weekly sell, which is nice right there. So this is probably like a dead cat bounce. Someone's taking some profits. That's about it. Let's put that like that. There it is. And there's the weekly signal. And as you can see, the fast-moving algo has been breaking down for a couple of weeks now. And same thing over here on J4X. When looking at the weekly, you can see it's been breaking down for, well, it's still, oh no, that's the S&Ps. Let's put the yen up there. Right there. You can see there, same pressure on that weekly signal. Thanks, Doc. I got distracted by the no, help out Ollie. Yeah, definitely. Don't let anybody try to use your platform to. That's how I ended up here to begin with. Remember, that one guy that kept on. They had a guy, and at the time it wasn't Greta. Greta wasn't in charge at the time. It was the woman, the girl before her. I can't think of her name now. Anyway, this guy kept on. He wanted to show his website, and they kept on telling him, no, you can't do that. And Greta was the assistant. She would say, no, you can't do that. And he would put up charts, and he'd go, look at this. I'm like 99% right all the time. And then what I was doing is I was like looking at that, and I'm thinking, wait a second. He's changing the charts inputs to make them look like they're successful. And so I said to him, look, put them up live. I put my work up on live. Put your work up on live. And he said, oh, no, I can't do that. I said, why can't you put it up on there live? And he was like, well, because it would show my secrets. And I was like, what? I said, you don't have to tell us how it works. You don't have to tell us the formula. Just show us the results. That's all. So he says, well, maybe I'll work on that. And so then he would be bothering Dukascopy. I want to be able to advertise my chart service. And you're going to drag in some people. They're going to they're going to actually fall for it. It happens. It just is. That's the way the industry is. Anyway, I kept on challenging him every day. I would put the same charts up live. I said, well, look at this. There's your chart, and there's my chart. Why is your chart, you changed your inputs? No, I didn't, he'd say. I said, yeah, you can see it on the screen. The inputs are different. So yesterday you put that chart up there. It had certain inputs. Today it has different inputs. So you're adjusting your inputs to the chart to make it look like it's more successful. So after about 2 or 3 days of me doing that, he stopped. He just disappeared altogether. We lost him altogether. He never showed up again. Well, yep. No problem. It looks like to me, Janos, that if we get it, it looks like it's trying to get into a daily buy, and I think the banking system is pretty much resolved now. I mean, there's some problems with some other houses, some banking houses across the planet, but overall, they're not going to let these things fall apart. It's a QE era. This is our QE. The QE is not going to let it happen. When they talk about the Q, that's what the Q is. It's the QE, not like they always blame Donald Trump for the Q continuum, or I don't know, something like that. All I know is the Q continuum is on Star Trek. It's a fantasy. So, or maybe not. Maybe it's real. Who knows? All right. From the yen, where do we go from the yen? Let's go over to the Turkish lira and see what the Turkish lira is up to this morning. I think it went into a weekly buy but was in a daily sell. I think that's how we saw it coming out of Friday. And we'll put it up on Chicago Quant at the same time. They're putting it up now on J4X. There it is. It appears it's trading at 20.58. Man, it's married to that 20 area, that's for sure. What a currency. 10 years, it's gone from 1 to 20. Ow. Ow. Talk about devaluing your currency. Ouch. How about just going from like 1 to 3? That would have been plenty. All right, now over here on Chicago Quant, we want to put the same thing up. Where are you? Where did you go? Oh, there it is. I missed it. It was right in front of me. There it is. Yeah, you can see that it went into the sell on Friday, but look at the weekly. The weekly has turned up there, and it looks like it's very firm. So, this action could be the beginning of another. Let's hope the poor people of let's hope the people of Turkey don't get it beat up any more than they've already been beat up. Let's hope that they don't wreck the currency any more than they've already wrecked it. Yeah. There we are. So at the same time, let's see, I want to find something else there. So there's the Turkish lira, and then from there, where do we go from there? I'm trying to find that picture. I could have sworn maybe I put it up on the desktop. I'm trying to send a picture to somebody, and I can't find it. Is it there? I know I saved it. Is that it? No, that's not it either. Okay. All right. From there, we'll go over to. Let's see. From there, we go over to the Canadian, and we'll look at oil at the same time. Orange man bad. Yes, Orange man bad. He's going to be the next president, too. You watch. I mean, he's doing the same thing the Democrats are doing now. He is doing voter harvesting, so he's going to be the next president. Because that's the only way they can beat him is they have to harvest more votes than he does. Yeah. Orange man bad. That's so funny. It's, I swear, the human population is... Oh, I saw something over the weekend that said that that American IQs are dropping. Yeah, American IQs are dropping. From, over the last 30 years or something like that. So it's like because people are using phones and so forth, and they're using computers to do calculations where, but they used to do it in their heads or do it on paper, and so it kind of slows down. People are worried. They're using the resources in other ways. That's what it comes down to. There's the CAD. See, the CAD is trying to break down a little bit, so that must mean natural gas, not natural gas, but as much, but crude oil. Let's put crude oil up on J4X. Crude must be trying to lift in there. Let's see where crude oil is today. There's light sweet Texas crude. Could be up. Let's see. Let's turn Hinky off for a second. Yeah, it's up. So oil is up a little bit. When oil goes up, Canadian tries to go down like that. That means it's gaining against the dollar. And as you can see here, the weekly, right there, it's trying to break down. The fast is breaking down. The slow is breaking down. Maybe we're going to... I kind of think this thing wants to fall down into the low 60s. That's where I think it wants to go. We'll see. It got down to like 64 and change and rallied back up. I was thinking it was going to get to 62. When it broke to 75, I figured, okay, they're going to 62, but they didn't. They went to 64. Not bad. I mean, we had the direction right. We just didn't. It didn't just go as far as we were thinking. That's all. All right, and then from there we'll throw gold up there, and we'll look at the South African rand. Let's get the South African rand up on Chicago Quant. We got gold up on J4X there. And gold's being sold down today. So with gold being sold down, as you can see right there, that red, see it right there. And that's the weekly. Let's go with the daily. Daily. Dilly. Yep, trying to sell down the last 2 days with the gold. And more than likely, South African rand will be going up. So let's go find South African rand right there. What's up with that? Right there we are. And see, it's going up a little bit. It's going up, goes the opposite direction of the oil. They like to move in opposite directions. Iron Man's bad. I laugh at that. I really do. 1.5% inflation, a growing economy. GDP was at 6.2%. And these people on the left, the socialists, call him bad. Oh my goodness gracious. Talk about crazy. Let's see. I just want to... I got a picture. Let's see. I just want to answer this one person. Let me just answer them. On the subject. There we go. Okay. So from where we at gold, from the gold, we'll go over to We'll go to. Oh, I know. Is we go to the Mexican peso. Once we get done, the peso, we go to. Let's put it up on there. Peso, peso, peso. That's the end of the currencies for the day we look at. But, if you want to see a currency, just shout it out on the chat line. We'll go back to it, all right? I mean, it's not like I'm stuck doing one thing. And there's the Mexican peso. Maybe they're backing away from the BRICS situation. When they made that announcement about BRICS, the currency went flying up like that. But right now, look at it. It's been in a sell from here. They got the volatility signal 2 out of 3 days in a row. And then now it's going into the sell. And let's see what the weekly is. The weekly's still holding up in the buy. It's been in the buy for 2 weeks. And the fast 3 weeks. Let's get that on there like that. And put the line back in there again like so. There we go. Ta-da. All right. So there's the... Can you look at the DAX? Hey, yeah, 47. How you doing? I'd imagine it's lifting today. We'll do it 2 ways, too, here. We'll do it... we'll look through... where will we look for? We'll look through... let's see. Let's go through what's trading at live right now. Which, you know what? I bet we can... Janos, don't we get the DAX on this thing? On J4X? I'm sure we do. Zetra, or which one is it? Oop, wrong thing there. Let's try this. DAX. DAX. Don't we have it? We have it. Is that it right there? That doesn't look like the DAX. The Zetra DAX is different. Let me go over here and put that up on this. Last I saw, the DAX was trading at in the teens. I thought it was. Yeah, right there. And we'll put it up on the screen here. Pre-markets. There we go. I've got the DAX at it's 15,163. See if I can get the chart up on that. Here we go. There we go. There it is right there. 15,163. It's plus 205. Yeah, I think they're straightening this out at this point. I really do. I think the banking thing is all cleaned up. I mean, it's a Zetra DAX. Let's see. What can we do here? Trump had an enormous crowd at a rally on Saturday. I was watching some of it. Let's see. What do we got here? Would I use GDAX maybe? Would that do it? GDAX? Let's see. Nothing's coming up on that. DEU. Okay, perfect. Thank you. DEU. There it is, right? Right there. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, cool. And you can see, let's put the hinky in there again. You see it's turned green here. The line is trying to turn around. Let's go over to, let's get rid of this. Bang. And let's go look at, let's see, where's it at? It's just, not that. Yeah, let's close this. Close that workspace, and then I'll open up yes to all. There we are. And then I'll open it up here like this, where we have the DAX for you. Here it comes. That's right. Robin's looking at UNG. Let me put it in somewhere else here. Let's do this. Let's just grab that, attack that. He's using trading UNG, Robin, at the moment. So you see. So copy image, paste image, and then let's put DAX in there. DAX. DAX. Instrument. There we are. DAX. Enter. Let's put the weekly in there. DAX. Enter. And let's see if we have the right combinations in there. Let's see what the pre-market is. Settings. Oh, that might be. So is that a bounce up right now? Let's see. Close, 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 close. There we are. That's. Let's see if we can get the pre-market in there. And it'll give you a flavor if the weekly is turning up. Pre-market. There it is. Let's see what that does. Nah, it's not doing that either. Let's see what we can do here. I know I put it in there so I can see it too, because we've been watching it with you. There's DAX. Okay. So right now they're quoting DAX here in the States. They show an index. Let's just go with the stock for the moment. They're showing it. The market's not that wide. You know, we're not legally allowed to trade DAX here in the States because of the accounting rules and so forth. So they don't really trade it very actively. But let me see if I can get the index up on the screen. If I can get that index, maybe that'll do it. Let's see. Additional trading permissions are required to trade this contract. Okay. Snapshot. Yeah, so there it is there. And let's see if I can change this to the index. And then we might be able to give you the index, which would be really cool. So DAX, all instruments, the indexes, there we are. Add symbol. Index. DAX. So I'd rather see the index myself. Look up. I think we might get it. Let's see. It's searching for it. That's for sure. Okay, yeah, here we go. I think we got it. Add. Okay. Now, so we go like this. Add. Okay. Close. There we are. Here it comes. See how this looks. Yep, no, that's not right. Let's try this. And let's put the weekly in there. There we are. And then let's change the parameters and we might get this going for you. That'd be really cool. Okay, there it is. There's the 27th. Look at it. It's the daily is trying to come up. And let's just alter the weekly. And that'll straighten it all out. That'll be cool. Settings. I think it's just pre-market, right? Yeah, so we go like that. Maybe that'll do it. Here we go. That should do the weekly. All right, that didn't seem to happen. Let me go from there. Okay, so that's like that. Let me find why that's feeding and the other one is not. What do I have as a setting? We're going to get there. It's pre-market. Okay, so it's the same thing here. This should be pre-market also. Ah. Okay, so close. We'll get this set. U.S. stocks pre-market, yeah. And this should, and it's showing it. So maybe if I have to refresh it, maybe that'll straighten it out. All right, let's try this. And then then we'll, yeah, that does it. Okay, so close. And then see how this is already reflecting today. Let's do this. where's it? Go right here and reload it. Now I'm not sure why it's not reflecting it yet. Why is it not reflecting the weekly? Let me just open up the weekly. Maybe I'm opening it up wrong. Let's see. Let's try that. It's still not doing it. I don't understand that. Because it's showing us the daily. Let's go back to the pre-market. There we are. See, we lost the daily from doing that. That's interesting. Let's do a refresh too. That's interesting. We lost that again. So it was trying to turn up, and we'll watch this and see if I can clean up the internals to this whole thing. But anyway, there's the DAX and the Zetra. I think it's the Zetra DAX, and you can see it on J4X too at the same time. It's moving up, and the daily is touching the daily buy, just like the way the S&P 500 is. Like I said, I think the banking situation is pretty much cleaned up now. So, and I see the Zetra DAX trading at up to 12 at this point. So it's holding on pretty well. I'll just go from there. All right, traders, where do we go from here? Did that take care of you, 47? No problem. We're going to work on that. Looks like we can get the DAX index itself. So we'll have that. I'm going to play with that a little bit more and see if we can straighten that all out in the end. And that weekly sell, obviously, from here, pressed into that sell 5 weeks ago as this banking, or 4 weeks ago, as this banking situation started to roll over. So, and it looks like it's still in a weekly sell, but getting closer to the line. All right, where'd we leave off? Oh, let's do this. We're running out of time to some extent here. Let's just do this. Let's go check out. Let's close that. Yes to all. And let's take a look at silver. We saw where gold is moving down today. Let's take a look at silver. Let's see. Silver is right. Nope, not there. There it is, right there. And there's silver. Where is that silver? There's silver. Pressing down into the sell also. The weekly's holding up really high up here, so I'm not. I think it'll take a little while, but the pressure will probably be like this is the dead cat bounce. I mean, in this case here, it's been running since the $20 area. It got up to almost 23.75, isn't it? 23.80? No, 23.64. So they got to take some profits there. And it's the same thing's going on with gold, as we saw before. Gold is doing the same thing, trying to break down. In many ways, this the buy from where was it at? The buy from there. From the 1830s area. It ran to 2000. So you're talking about $170 gain, and then it corrected a little bit, tried to do it again, and didn't make a higher high here. You notice that. So that pressure is on the metals complex. Again, if they straighten out the banking problem, then more than likely you're not going to see much more difference than that. In other words, they're going to start selling the metals down again. And one of the big disappointments, I'm going to throw copper up here. Copper's been kind of sideways on this move up, but I want to show you platinum. Platinum really, really battled to tried to get into the weekly buy last week, and I think it did. But at the same time, the fast broke down, which was really interesting. And here's platinum right there, April platinum. And let's see, I guess we could take this style, make it solid line just so you can see it better. Put that in there like that. Yeah, and so you see it's hugging the line here. We got into the weekly buy last week right here, and it's already flirting with the sell today. And it was only 1 day buy, and out of this whole move, the fast got up above 3 weeks ago, but it's not been pretty. Let's put it that way. And it really didn't take out these highs. after the first initial panic of the banking problem. It's doing even worse than the gold right there. It made this nice run, and platinum didn't. And I'm always concerned when platinum won't rally. It's usually a clear sign that there's going to be problems with gold holding it. Having what's the key word there? Probably gold having staying power. Having consistency, or being strong. And that's it's going to be tough. It is. It's a very tough one, and it's a real surprise to me. They can't get the platinum to go. That says, hey, as much as the banking system was on the ropes, was having its problems, don't worry about it. It's going to get cleaned up, and that's obviously it. That's what they're doing. They're cleaning it up, and so the platinum is trying to tell us. Let's go back to the platinum on the screen, but platinum is trying to tell us, no worries, be happy, and that's not. Don't buy gold. Don't worry, be happy about the banking system. And by the way, sell your gold. That's what that's showing right there, which is really weird. All right. From there, does anybody want to see anything else? Oh, let's do this. Let's put Brent up there real quick. See what Brent is up to. There's Brent. Brent is kind of bouncing around, trying to flatten out. Look at this. It's starting to curve here on the daily. And I imagine the weekly's still in the sell, just like the West Texas is. Our West Texas oil is the same way. It is not getting going. It's still in a weekly sell down in here, even with this lovely little bounce in the daily buys. And it's even firm now. It was showing weakness. Now it's showing firmness again. And so that should turn the Canadian dollar to the downside, which it is at the moment when we look at the Canadian. Just show you the Canadian again, just to reconfirm that action. Yeah, see, it's trying to break down. It was trying to lift this morning and has failed, and it's underneath. See, it's minus over here. So, all right, traders, we're out of here. We will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. And happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Ta-ta for now. Oh, and I'll get the title up there. I just realized I got to get a title up.